Hey guys, welcome back to Arm Strength Media. I'm Enoch, and today I want to just do a little overview of the East vs West 16 that just happened in Tbilisi, Georgia. If you didn't see it, you should, get the pay-per-view, watch it. It was a great event, and it's not too late to get the pay-per-view and watch the replay. It was awesome. And I just want to do like an overview of the match and stuff. There was some weird calls by the refs and stuff, but overall, everything went pretty good. Some of the outcomes weren't what we wanted, but that's arm wrestling, right? You don't always get what you want. So what we'll do is we'll go over in order of the matches. I don't have the list of the matches. I just have the pictures, so hopefully I can remember everybody's name. But it was a good event overall. Some of the outcomes were not surprising. Some were really shocking. And my predictions, I think I was like 50%, 60% right. I think as I go, I'll remember. But anyways, beautiful sunny Sunday. A lot of snow though. I just came from shoveling. My arms are killing me. Yesterday while we were watching East vs West, it was just me and a couple other guys, and we were watching it. And then arm wrestling, and we arm wrestled a lot. When there's only 3 people, you go hard quite a bit. It's a lot. But so today when I was shoveling, if you know that pain afterwards, right? The arm wrestling tendon pain, I feel it right now, especially on my left. My left is always the one that gives me issues, but it was rough, but it was a good workout. I feel great. Yeah, but it was there was I arm wrestled. I was so sore, but then as the arm wrestling East vs West was going on, I get motivated. I'm like, let's go again. Anyways, it was really cool. So anyways, let's get into this here. So we will start off first off with, there's a couple things I will say with the production. It is cool what they're doing and stuff. There was this one camera angle and it was straight on that always just seemed like it was moving. Like, I don't know if it was like hanging or something, and because of all the people, I have no idea, but it was just constantly like moving a little bit. And then also, I didn't like that you couldn't pause, especially like sometimes there was like a little bit of lag on our end. I don't know if it was our internet or their service. I don't know. But where I live, we don't have the best internet. So I'm kind of thinking it was me. But we couldn't pause, which means I couldn't let it buffer or anything like that and then skip forward like I could on the old Court Sports platform. But I mean, other than that, I did like that they had the auto feature. You can select like the quality of the video. So in our case, if we put on audio, if it was having issues, the quality would go down a bit, but the stream would keep playing. So that's pretty cool. But I hope there is like a pause feature in the future, and like maybe you'll be able to go back and stuff like that. It'd be nice to have, right? So, oh darn. So without further ado, here we go. So the first match was Vasily Davtashvili versus Stoyan Golemov. That one, if you saw the interviews, Vasily was very, very confident, and he just felt like Stoyan couldn't do anything. And I think round 1 he was surprised. Like, you could see that he was a little surprised. Stoyan had a crazy hand. Vasily did good on the defensive side, but yeah, Stoyan was really good. Like, his hand was really good. That guy, I don't know who he should face next, but he was really strong. I actually think he should face maybe Bacho, like they asked him in the post interview, but Bacho, I think Bacho thinks it's too easy, but I don't know. I think I don't know how Bacho and Vasily do together, if they'd ever practice or anything, but I think that would be a good match. But Stoyan has a really good hand, and yeah, so Stoyan did take that one. I think it was 3-1, but yeah, I think it was 3-1, but it was really good anyways. It was a good way to start the event. It wasn't the best event for the Georgians. I think Bacho was the only Georgian that took the victory there, which is actually the next match, which would be Bacho Saakashvili versus... Is it Bacho Saakashvili? Anyways, Bacho versus Brad Grundy. And that one... that's kind of what I thought would happen, but I was hoping there was something Brad was going to be able to do, and he kind of put a little bit of stop at the end there, but sometimes there's just too much of a strength difference, and I think that's what it was. I think Brad has awesome potential, and he can be right up there with all these elites, except that he has to be a little bit longer, more consistent. I know he had stopped some training, then he came back, and he wasn't like he needs to get a bit stronger. But it was cool to see there was a little bit of a stop at the end. It'd be cool if it started at the beginning, but the connection and everything like that. also in the setup, if somebody's that strong and they're posting up on you and stuff like that, it's a little bit hard to get connected. They're preventing you from getting connected, right? But, it was, I know Brad's upset. Like, he wasn't, that's not what he was hoping for. But hopefully he stays around, because that guy is one of those young guys that we need in the States, the really strong people to start competing, especially for West. Like we have a lot of arm wrestlers in North America, but we don't have a lot of like up and coming elites. And Brad, I think, is one of those guys that has that potential. He's got that, he's really smart. So anyways, that one was 3-0 Bacho. He was quite dominant. The next one we're gonna go is, I think it's Fia. I think that was the next one with Fia versus Malin Bergstrom, and that one wasn't surprising. In my prediction, I thought, in the past, Malin has, like I said, has beat Fia. She was vicious on the hit. The thing is, she hasn't been competing as high level as Fia has, and Fia has not stopped training. And Malin's more like, she'll train for an event and then just continue training, but not like stick with it as hard as I think Fia has been doing consistently. And it showed in this one that Fia, like, it was just too dominant. Like, it looked like she was getting the hit. She was just too much. And Marlon said she felt strong, but at the end of the day, she did lose 10 kilograms, or like 23 pounds, 24 pounds. So it is, when you lose that much, like, even if you have, fat in your body, you still do lose some. And I think that plus the not as active as Fia, I think, affected it. And Fia's improvement showed, like, she was 4-0 for Fia. That was a title match, and she took that one. The next one here, Frank Lamparelli versus Sergey Kalinchenko. This one did surprise me. Sergey's got this thing now where he just doesn't want people to slip, and I feel really bad for Frank, because he really did not want to lose this one. This one, Frank really he was like, I have 2 losses, I have to win. And even in the post match interview, it was kind of sad to see how discouraged he was, because he's always smiling, but he was really frustrated. He was saying in the ref script, the way they were setting it up, he couldn't get a good grip. And so that right off the bat, he didn't have a good grip. So even for slipping and stuff was difficult. So you can tell he was visibly upset about it. He did have the stronger hand. You saw, like, first round, he took Sergey's hand, which is, Sergey was thinking he was gonna have it, but Sergey was able to do that press and got through Frank pretty easy in that way. And then the other 2 matches, he I'm just gonna see if I have any notes here. And the other 2 matches, he didn't let Frank slip, and he got the pins like that, which sucks, because, like, for me personally, I don't enjoy watching that. I hate it. I like, nothing wrong with it. That's good on Sergey. He's strong. His fingers are strong. He was able to pin somebody, but I hate seeing that. Like, I just slip and go and face it that way instead of this ugly finger holding little, I don't know. For me, I hate seeing that, but it shows, that he was stronger in the fingers and finger containment. He was able to hold Frank and pin him that way. It's not the way I wish I had gone, but Sergey is looking good though. He's got, the thing is, having different lanes, having different options in your arm wrestling does help, like, for sure. And that's where Sergey, he's gonna do really good in that category. I believe 115. I think going to super heavy was a bit much, especially because the hand differences, just the bone structure, stuff that can affect. And now that he's going to 115 and he feels good there, and he's like, feels healthy and strong, and from there he maintains this weight and continues getting stronger. But in this weight category, he wants Reno next. I know Reno's injured, so hopefully Reno comes back and they have a match. But until then, hopefully we see Sergey again. He's a good arm wrestler. He's a good guy to see out there. And, I always enjoy them arm wrestling, seeing him going on arm wrestling. His personality and things is pretty cool. So he's a very likable guy. I just wish he had slipped and they had gone in the strap and done it that way. At least Frank also probably would have felt more like he was in a match than just like trying to slip the whole time. But anyways, that was that one. So Sergey got that one, I think 3-0. So I won't go completely in order, or I might if I get it right, but I don't know the exact order. I'm just looking at the picture here of the poster, so I'm just kind of guessing. So the next one I will talk about will be Oleg Jacques versus Daniel Prokopchuk. That one, it's not surprising that Oleg won, but to me it's surprising how he won. I actually thought Daniel Prokopchuk would have was going to actually do a little bit better in holding. But I don't know, the way it looked is Oleg was like right on Daniel's hand where like Daniel couldn't even like flop and get like this part holding. He was just like, which was good. Like he caught his flat wrist, but Kupchak was like right down on the wrist too. Like, so I don't know. For me, it just seemed Oleg came better prepared to finish a match than usual. Like instead of just going over pronation and on the outside, he was like bringing his elbow forward or getting better connected and getting it. Then like he just made it. He did make it look really, really dominant. So Daniel did have a couple good stops. He looked really solid. He looked big. Looked like he'd been training, but Oleg Zak for his weight class, his hand is just so uncomfortable. It's huge. Like. And you can't really get a good position. And I think with him, which I know it's probably like nearly impossible, but with him, he's one of those guys like you have to get them in a hook. It's kind of like Jeff Dabe. He's got that massive hand and arm, but if you get him in a hook, you usually that's how you can get them. But getting there is a problem with these guys. They're just too much. So that one was kind of, I guess, what most people predicted. It's just, so it was pretty dominant. Oleg Jacques won that one. 3-0. Pretty dominantly, but it's good. I like to see him on a comeback. After the action and everything like that. I know he's not what he used to be, but it's good to see that he's making those improvements. And he's gonna be really difficult too if he keeps going this way. So that's really cool. So the next one, Oleg Petrenko versus Vakili Oliani. Oh man, that one I actually felt bad for Vakili because he's Georgian, he's in Georgia, and he had the belt. So you're holding onto your belt here with all the support, and Petrenko won dominantly. I would say dominantly. Petrenko's hand looked really good, and what I was thinking, even if he took the hand, Vakili with his side pressure can get in there and do something, but. Man, Oleg just shut everything down. That wasn't exactly what I expected. I thought Petrenko could win, but I wasn't thinking it would be that dominant. I actually think like I was expecting Vakili to get a couple in there, like because Vakili is a beast. Like you've seen what he did with like with Oleg Jacques. Even though he lost his hand, the way he came through with that side pressure there. So I don't know. I really thought, and being in Georgia and all that, like adrenaline, but sometimes, but it's good because now he knows there's things that he has got to work on, and sometimes that's what you need, right? You need that push. If you just keep winning and winning, sometimes you don't know what to improve. So I think it's in that way it's good, but it just sucks, in Georgia you lose your belt. So, but no, awesome for Petrenko, man. I think that guy, he wants a shot at Alajan, and I think that would be a good thing to do. That'd be really cool. So there's that as well. So that one, Petrenko won. He got the title belt for, I think, the 95 kilograms left hand title. And I'm sure we'll see him soon again, maybe against Alajan, or I'm not sure who he's going to be facing. But that one, yeah, it was a good match. All right, next one up, Alex Kurdecha versus David Dedikian. Oh boy, I was wrong about that one. Jeez. I guess David Dedikian. David, I don't know. I used to say it said David Dedikian before, but in this one they were saying David with a D, so I don't know. So David Dedikian, he had the first round was really cool. It was awesome. They were both into it. He almost got the pin, and Alex was able to bring it back, and Alex was showing that he had something in there, but and that was pretty close. Like in the first round, I'm like, okay. And it looked like I was even thinking, oh no, David won't be able to finish it. Like he can't finish. He's getting tired out, and he had to like foul out there. And then they restarted, and he just got that flash pin. And then from there, the next couple rounds, it's like Alex just kept getting sunk into the hook because Alex, I thought was gonna try to top roll, and maybe he did, but from it looked like he was just committing to go inside. And David was just too much, and he actually 3-0'd Alex. Like, the thing is, like, Alex gave Morozov such a good match. I actually thought Alex could have taken that one. That one was one of those predictions I was really wrong about. Like I thought that David Deacon could have maybe got one or two, and then Alex would have come back because of his endurance and like, but no, David was too much. 3-0, like that was a dominant victory, man. And this is like the biggest Alex Cardecha there's ever been, too. Like he was 170 kilograms. David Deacon barely over 115, and yeah, just like somebody 50 kilos more than you, and you just dominate them like that. So really good for David. Like he shows like his left is crazy. He's right up there. Him, Oleg, Alajan. The thing is, these three are hook, so I would put them a little bit different than Vitaly, but it'd be, and Vitaly's super heavyweight, but still, yeah, they're one of the top few. That was crazy. So Alex, I'm not sure. He's really got a lot of potential, but his last few showings haven't been that great. Like he came back and faced Morozov, and that was really cool. But from then on, like he hasn't. I beat Georgie, and then lost to Jerry, similar to what he just did with David Deacon. So, but he doesn't give up. He's got a good attitude, and I'm sure he's gonna keep improving. I think this one, yeah. I was hoping he'd have done a little bit better, but what are you gonna do, right? He's gonna keep training. You don't give up. You keep going, and good on David Deacon for being that strong. What a beast! Oh man, this one made me sad. This is the Michael Todd versus Hermes Gasparini. I was wrong. It wasn't surprising, but I really thought Michael's hand would have been a bit more. That one, Hermes. Wow. I think I like Hermes as an arm wrestler even more now. One, because of how he arm wrestled. So smart, very connected, didn't rush things, and he played it really well. But also, the respect he showed Michael Todd in the post-match interview, that's pretty cool too. Hermes is an amazing arm wrestler. It's always good to see him on the card. I still think him and Devin, if they had a match, Devin would beat him. But the way he lost to Devin was definitely like, that one, he was just so nervous. Like he had his family there, and he wasn't there. And I think this version of Hermes would be a little bit different story. But anyways, Michael Todd, Hermes Gasparini. This one was one of those that I wasn't too happy with the refereeing though, because it could have gotten a little slightly bit different, or nothing would have changed and Hermes would still have won. But it sucks when there's like bad calls in the match. But this is where I think Hermes did what a lot of people don't do, which is when they set up, Hermes' back pressure, his rise, and the way he just stayed and patiently kept climbing, and he pressed when he needed to press. He didn't go right into the press and just kill himself doing the press. Like it was that first round, the way Hermes did it was like, wow, that was impressive, beautiful. The second round, that one they called the pin, and it was kind of going similar way. Michael did have a little bit more. Like Hermes did get taken off a little bit, and he was coming back and slowly and doing the way you're supposed to do it. To me personally, at that time when they called the pin, I didn't think it was a pin. They did a review, and it's like maybe I couldn't really see, like, if it's a little bit above, it's still a little bit above. But okay, Hermes got that one too. But then the third time they did it again, and this time I'm like, no, that wasn't a pin. And for me, I didn't see the pin. They did a slow motion. It wasn't a pin. And then they had got to redo it again, and then this time Hermes did take it, and it got a little bit heated. And I think you can't change your personality. Like Michael is who he is. That's just how he is. You either like him or you don't. For me personally, I root for Mike. I really like Michael Todd. I really hope I was hoping if he would win dominantly, just because I want to see him against Levon. But seeing what Hermes did to him shows that if he were to face Levon next, Levon would just kind of crush him like he did to Devin. Levon is just too much. So now we know, okay, there's still, Michael Todd still has more work to do. But in the post-match interview, Hermes was saying like if he hadn't trained his press, and like he might not have got that win, and also his was it? Did he say his riser cup? I'm not sure, but like to be able to contain and keep climbing like that, he's like, because he said Michael Todd's pronation was almost impossible. He's like, that pronation was really good, and that's what Michael did have, where Hermes was fighting here and he was gassing. And if the ref had, this is where I was gonna say it could have changed a little bit. If the refs have not called that one pin, the third one, and then spent like 10 minutes reviewing, and Hermes didn't get the arrest. This is because Hermes, you could tell, was getting tired. Like he was getting really tired, and this is where it could have maybe, but Michael did have his pronation, but the rise in the cup was going, man. That's where Hermes' strength you could see, yeah, and the back pressure. Like this is where Hermes, you saw, like, yeah, it was a good match. It was nice because I think this time though, no matter what, like the last time it was like Michael Todd won, but because Hermes fouled out. This time Hermes won, and he technically pinned him 4 times, you know, by the way that it had gone. The one technically wasn't, but if you think about it, even if they had let it go a little bit longer, I'm sure he would have got it anyways. Maybe, but you know, so anyways, in that case, technically Hermes did win. There's no question about it. This time he did beat Michael Todd. But I do have a lot of issues with people like, oh, there goes Michael Todd's hype. Good, he sucked anyways, and all this cheater and stuff like it's not like. And to me, the reason it bugs me is the King's move is not cheap. It's a move. It's an actual technique. Try to do it yourself. Try to develop it. It's not easy. And people say, oh, the bone lock. Hermes just showed you the bone lock means nothing if you know how to do the press, if you know how to face the King's move, if you know how to climb properly. You know, Hermes just showed you how to do it. It's not about the bone lock. It's about how to arm wrestle the King's move without just freaking out and just trying to push against it in an incorrect way. So to me, I don't like that because Michael Todd is not cheating. He is arm wrestling by the rules. He's really good at following the rules. Like you tell him what the rules are, he'll go by the rules. Like he's not one of those. So to me, I respect Michael Todd. I want to see him come back. I want him to see him not quit and just keep going forward and always cheer for him. But honestly, Hermes earned this win. He didn't just go, oh yeah, I was just too strong for Michael. Like I like that he was like, no, Michael Todd's pronation was like for sure was really good. And if I didn't have my press, I could have maybe not won. Like he recognized there was issues. It wasn't as dominant as people would like it could look. Like Hermes was really getting tired out there, but he was smart and he earned his win. That was awesome. Like Hermes is an amazing arm wrestler. That was really cool to see. It sucked that Michael Todd won for me personally, but it was really good to see like that great arm wrestling from Hermes. So there's that. But this one was a good match. The Todd Hutchings versus Irakli Zarakashvili. What an awesome match, dude! Irakli was so confident, saying that like, oh, this is a different Irakli. Todd Zilla's gonna be surprised because he doesn't know. Like the last time it was at 105, I think, and Irakli was like, I was too blown up, my hand blew up, I couldn't do anything because my hand blew up, I couldn't feel my fingers and all this stuff. He's like, now, and even I was thinking Todd should win, but I was thinking Irakli, his back pressure and his hand might be so strong that he can pull Todd to like the back where Todd is too stretched out to be able to get into his power. But man, if like that was an awesome match. So round 1 literally was exactly copy of the first time they faced, and I'm like, no way. But round 2, Irakli came in and from a losing position got into a press and dragged Todd all the way through, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Because in all Todd's interviews, he's like, how does Irakli beat me? And he never once said anything about the flop wrist and or the shoulder pressure and shoulder press. And so I was like, dang it. But Todd is smart and he actually was prepared for it. And every time Irakli was going to try to get into it, Todd would just push forward so to not let him get into his position. And Todd Zilla came through, took the title in Georgia from Irakli Zarakashvili, who has like improved immensely since the first time. But Todd showed, 1, he's a very smart arm wrestler, and 2, the one thing that was crazy is when Irakli was trying to go back pressure and stuff and go through Todd here, where Todd went against him and Irakli's wrist slowly started just going to the back. Like it was too, like Todd Zilla technically took Irakli's hand. So that, dude, this is like a 60-year-old man just beat a 27-year-old guy, and like, yeah, dude, Todd Hutchings just impressive, very smart, very technical. He's gonna have his handful of Rustam Babayev in the next time they face, because that's who his next challenger is going to be, and that guy has never lost to Todd Hutchings. So hopefully there'll be something different in this next event. But anyways, good job on both of them. Irakli did really good. Anyways, he was good sport about it all and good athlete, but good win for Todd Hutchings. That was really cool, and that's awesome. All right, bros. Dang it. Sorry about that. I taped up a drape there just because the blinds aren't covering the sun and the light back there is too much. But anyways, this one here. Okay. Devin Larratt versus Gennady Kvigvinya. Devin, I think, was stronger. He definitely was too much. And I felt like this one, I felt like Gennady was trying to have a match without having a match. That's just how I felt. Maybe I'm wrong, but as in like, he would not start the match. Like, and people are always like, oh, Devin. But dude, it seemed like the referees were, something happened there. Like, it was just weird. Like, they were so quick to try to foul Devin and stuff like that. And Gennady did get the first one on fouls, but it was just kind of a mess. It was like 20 minutes before they did their first kind of arm wrestling pull. But when they eventually did get into it, Devin just got a quick pin on Gennady. And then I think he did that twice. And then the one final one where finally Devin got that pin, you still saw Devin was trying to play a little bit. But when he came back up and tried to finish Gennady, he got stuck like last time. And then he really got in a bit further in and really deep and got it. But you can see that it took a lot out of him. Gennady, you could still see, had a position. He is strong. It's not that Gennady was weak. Devin was just a lot stronger this time in those certain positions. However, inside, if they had just gone it properly inside and and Devin was trying to play a little bit, if Devin had played too much, I'm telling you, it could have been almost a repeat because the one where he actually went all out, Gennady did technically stop for a bit. So Gennady has strength and Gennady's really good, but just this one, I don't know what it was, though. The imaginary foul that the one referee saw, we saw it in slow motion. That did not make any sense to me. Devin was holding. He moves his elbow up a little bit even more onto the pad, and that's when the guy calls a foul, and he's like staring at Devin's elbow, and both of the referees are just both staring at Devin, like waiting for him to do something, just to give him like a foul. It was really weird. It made no sense. Honestly, a stupid call, but I know the referees have a lot of pressure, dude. They were getting a lot like crazy from Gennady and Devin. That high pressure situation with all the people yelling in the background stuff. I'm sure that plays a part of it. It's not like they're just trying to be biased or anything like that, I think. But that one just made no sense to me because Devin was perfectly fine there. And then if anything, he's moved more onto the pad and that's when they call the foul. I don't know. Imaginary foul. Honestly, there was nothing there, and it was just. Then they fouled him and moving and stuff, and honestly, they kept saying shoulder, and Devin was so square, you could not get any more square than Devin was. Gennady was like this, and they're like, and he's still yelling at Devin to be more square. Devin's literally like right in there, like there's nothing you can do. And Devin kept saying, just say go, and honestly, they should have just said go and be like, that's it, like even just like because Gennady was yelling, it's like they got intimidated. Is that the word? Where like. They just were afraid to get it to start. I don't know. And then every time they were about to get out, I was like, no, this isn't right and stuff. So I love Gennady. Awesome arm wrestler. But in this one, Devin earned his win. You could tell he was dominant. Like Devin was too much. And it felt like the match more of a match happened before the match. As in like it was all the fouling and fighting in the setup, but not really actually arm wrestling. So I'm glad Devin won, honestly, but it was a bit like the anticipation. Sometimes when a long setup, the anticipation builds, and that's a good thing. But then at the same time, when it's like 20 minutes, anticipation builds to the point where then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm over this now. like next match, this is just not going anywhere. But anyways, that was just me. Overall, though, like I said, everything was fine. It's just a lot of it was just not happening in the actual arm wrestling part, which is what I like to see the most. The setup games and all that stuff is one thing, that's fine, but it was a long time. But anyways, so that one was crazy. Overall, though, it was technically an entertaining thing, so a lot of people will like watching it. So, it's one of those matches. But Devin was too much. And last but not least, I told you guys, I made a video and I even said Morozov could win or at least could surprise people. And I think that was a huge surprise, especially round 1 when he stopped Vitaly, then started talking, like, come on, and then brought it back, and then boom, with that surge, got that pin. He started celebrating too soon, though, because the second round, it was very, very similar, and he got it again. But the thing with Vitaly, that guy, I'm telling you, when we were there talking about the event as it was happening, like, with the thing with Vitaly, though, he will never just quit. He'll do anything in his power to win. Either way, no matter what, that was awesome on Morozov, because people literally thought it was going to be just a quick, just run through him. And Morozov showed, dude. And that Morozov, Devin wouldn't have beat that Morozov. No way. That Morozov would have crushed Devin. So, in that way, like, personally, even with that Devin's kicking and stuff like that, don't forget, Devin's left is not his right. And Morozov, so, like, to me, Morozov showed he would have been too much to Devin. Personally, that's just what I think. Left-handed, he would have been too much. His hand was really good. Vitaly lost his hand trying to pin him. They were grinders of a match. They were huge, like, they were long, hard matches. And I guess, was it the third round where all of a sudden it seemed like, what was it? Vitaly started coming in with the press. Oh yeah, I know. But Vitaly, what he started doing is all of a sudden he just started gripping and not letting go of the hand, and Morozov was really like fighting to slip and not get pinned like that. I think Vitaly did get a pin like that where he with the fingers, kind of like Sergey with the fingers, and got one pin like that, and then he started pressing. Vitaly started pressing the guy, and this is where now it will help Vitaly in the future as well. Is he doesn't press often, and so his technique and everything isn't great, but it's not nothing. Like, he did put wear on Morozov, and like, yeah. So anyways, what happened is it looked like, I guess, there was a pin there, and then Morozov started like wincing a bit in pain, and then he came back and it was the same thing, and yeah. So then Vitaly, it switched over, and Vitaly just took over from there and was now in control. After he started dripping and not letting him go. And like, when you're trying to slip and you're getting pulled like that and you're pulling the worst positions, I'm telling you, it puts wear on the arm. And then when somebody's pressing on you, you're trying to pronate so much out of there. So I think what happened is Artem apparently hurt his pronator. And that's when you saw later in the matches as well, where his pronator was getting taken. And so in the last match, I think Morozov was going to try to, I don't know, get a press in or something, maybe not use, his hand as much. But no, Vitaly just took that one too. So, but it was sad to see, Morozov in pain. It's not good. But either way, even though he lost the title, and Vitaly became, the rightful #1 left-handed champion, super heavyweight champion of the world, and got the gauntlet. I'm very, very glad Morozov did what he did. He showed people. I think he proved that he had earned where he had been. Like, that was awesome. He put an awesome fight. It was like one of the matches of the night, like back and forth. They got, and what I loved about it is they got into the match, and the main thing happened in the match, and that was a great match to watch. That was an awesome match to watch. Respect to both of these athletes, and hopefully, Morozov makes a quick recovery. But this conditioned Morozov would have been too much for Devin Lariat. So those are all the matches for this event, except for the exhibition match. That was such an awkward moment, which sucked because the whole event was so good, and it ended on such a weird and awkward situation. And it was a miscommunication. Engin, Robert, and Kirill came out and made an apology video, but just to get them on stage to kind of like do like a little light pulling, then laugh, we pat each other in the back, and that was kind of it, just to get like people excited. That was kind of what it was, except Levon didn't really understand, and apparently he had told Kirill, like, why are we going to do this? Like, I don't want to go there, and, we're friends. I don't want to just go there and just pin you. But then when they got on the thing, Levon was kind of okay, but he didn't actually really care to do it in the first place. But then when Kirill started going like 50 to 70%, Levon let it go. He had trained that day and everything. He's like, I'm not there to arm wrestle. So he let go, and then he was, I think at that point, maybe a little bit annoyed at Kirill. And then when they wanted them to do it again, because Levon, he's like, what are we doing? Like, I don't want to do this. He was so, I still think, I personally think Levon could have done a little bit of a better sport than that, just because you're in Georgia, awesome event, everybody's all electrified from this event, and you go there, and then there's just like this attitude, like, I don't want to do this, and walk away. So awkward, so awkward. But I mean, I get it. You know, it was miscommunication. He didn't want to do it. Something they shouldn't have pushed, and just have ended it the way it had ended with that amazing Vitaly versus Artem match. Would have been perfect, and that's all people needed to see. Yeah, sometimes these ideas, we have ideas that sound good and they turn out not to be so good, or last minute. It's better to do last minute. It was that same day before the event. They're like, let's do this, and I think don't do things last minute. There, just do what you planned, and that's it. It sucked because I know for Levon, it's not like he's happy how things went there. And then Carol, it was so awkward to watch him too. And the poor guy was just like, he was excited to be there. You know, he knows he can't be Levon, so that's always gonna be for fun. But I also think when he went a little bit, he thought Levon would engage more, but Levon's kind of like, no. And then Levon held him the second time and just like, I don't want, like, put his hand down, like, no. But yeah. So I don't know. It was a really awkward and uncomfortable way to end the whole event. But other than that, the event was great. So I would get the pay-per-view. I'll leave the link in the description below. It was worth the money. Awesome to rewatch the replay. I'm actually excited to watch some of it. Like, it was really good. It was a good event, and the next one's coming next month. So I guess I'll end it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.